In the last 2 episodes, I briefly talked about how the CCP persecutes Falun Gong, but I didn't share my personal experiences or my view on this persecution. After the CCP started persecuting Falun Gong, I was arrested 4 times and sent to a labor camp for 1 year. So today, I want to focus on something that still hasn't been fully recognized: the most brutal and evil mental torture in human history, the CCP's brainwashing of Falun Gong practitioners. I mentioned before that because so many people practiced Falun Gong, the CCP wanted to wipe it out completely. Since they couldn't kill all 100 million practitioners at once, they had to force them to give up their beliefs. For the arrogant and violence-obsessed CCP, they think everything can be achieved through force. So on the first day we were sent to the labor camp, the police told us the only reason we were there was to be transformed, to make us abandon our faith in truthfulness, compassion, and tolerance. To achieve this, the CCP even set a transformation rate target. For example, at the Beijing women's labor camp where I was, the police had to reach a 95% transformation rate. That meant they had to force over 95% of Falun Gong practitioners to give up their faith. If they didn't meet this target, the police would lose pay, get demoted, or even be fired. But on the other hand, if they tortured a Falun Gong practitioner to death, they faced no consequences. So, can you imagine what the police would do in this situation? They would stop at nothing to torture Falun Gong practitioners until they gave up their beliefs. In other words, the CCP has set up a system to encourage and bring out the worst in human nature. It turns police, labor camp staff, prison inmates, and even ordinary people into parts of its evil state machine. From the moment Falun Gong practitioners enter the labor camp, they face endless torture and sleep deprivation. Some were not allowed to sleep for more than 10 days and nights straight. Later, that record even went up to 42 days and nights. When I was in the labor camp, I saw with my own eyes a young female Falun Gong practitioner lose her mind after being forced to stay awake for 5 days and 4 nights, or maybe 4 days and 5 nights. 1 minute, she was bravely reasoning with those trying to transform her. The next minute, she suddenly burst into terrifying laughter. After laughing, she went insane. She was no longer herself. From then on, she had a strange mental illness. She seemed normal when talking about anything else, but as soon as Falun Gong was mentioned, she would eagerly tell you why it's an evil cult. You couldn't imagine that just before this, she had been willing to go to prison to defend Falun Gong.